It happened again. The dreaded, "Hey, can I pick your brain?" That question used to send my stomach into my feet. Whether I got it in person or over email or even over text, it didn't feel good. Today, I'm sharing how to face that question with a whole new approach where you don't feel like your choices are saying no and being a jerk or saying yes and resenting the fact that you did. I'm going to help you turn those awkward coffee and lunch requests into aligned paid opportunities. Because, hey, your time is your inventory and you deserve to be paid for your brilliance. Welcome to the Establish Yourself podcast, your guide to elevating your brand, offers, and systems as a coach, consultant, or service provider. I'm Annie Franceschi of Greatest Story Creative. I'm a brand strategist, author, former Disney storyteller, and forever Muppet fan. If you're ready for next level success, we'll get clear on your brand, package your process, and streamline your systems so you can land quality clients, boost profit, and make time for big dreams in your business and beyond. If you're ready for less confusion and more magic, it's time to establish yourself. I remember one day in 2016, I had just had it. I had gotten home from yet another coffee that had turned into a free pick my brain session. This financial advisor I'd met at BNI had invited me to get together. When we got to the coffee shop, he didn't offer to pay, so I paid for both of us. Turns out he hadn't done any research on me, and I spent the next hour giving him real valuable consulting on his marketing strategy. I never heard from him again, not even a thank you. That was a low point and a turning point. I realized that my time, my experience, and my advice, it's worth a lot more than a $5 cup of coffee. And I want to give that time and attention and value to people who appreciate it. As a successful strategist, coach, and consultant with multiple offers, a husband, and a toddler, time is my most limiting factor. How I spend my time is how I enjoy my life, enjoy my work, make good money, and get client results. And how I spend my time doesn't happen by accident. So today, I want to help you turn those brain pickers into great paying clients and how to let go of the guilt when you do it. Do you dread getting that email from somebody who wants to run something by you or just pick your brain real quick? Let's be real. Your time, your experience, your expertise, they are worth far more than what coffee costs. It took me a while to realize is that people treat us how we allow them to treat us and how we teach them to treat us. Too often, people don't realize that they're even asking for free consulting or that's what we really sell. So it becomes up to us to educate gently, but firmly with good business boundaries. Just a year or two ago, someone asked me for help with her About page. I don't typically offer hourly sessions, but I thought, I'd known this person a little bit. I thought, okay, I'm happy to pull that out of my back pocket. I quoted her for 1 hourly session to work on it. And her response, "I don't really need all of that, but I'd be so happy to take you to lunch." I had changed so much since 2016 because it was very clear to me like, wait, what is the psychology of this? I don't think it's worth what you charge for this, but I'm happy to cover your lunch and require you to spend an hour with me, plus probably up to 30 minutes getting there and leaving. So, will you give me 2 hours of your time in exchange for lunch? What she's really saying is that the advice that other people pay me hundreds to thousands of dollars for is only worth a $15 sandwich. That does not work for me. That does not feel good to me. And I think Annie from a decade ago would have felt a lot of pressure to just say yes to that. But that's not what I do. And that's not how I show up. So in that particular case, that was someone that was showing me that they were not a good fit for me to help. They were not somebody that I could give advice to, who could run with, who would value it enough to put it into action. And that's going to happen sometimes. But today, what we're going to talk about is how to approach this thoughtfully, authentically, to serve the people who just don't realize we have something available, and to let it go when we're not everybody's cup of tea or us having a boundary feels like it's not a fit for them. When you feel a little guilty, a little awkward, and a little taken advantage of, that's not a good feeling. So let's work on it. When it comes to brain pickers, for me, everything changed when I stopped feeling like my options were to agree and feel bad about it or to say no and to feel even worse. So I started saying the other most profitable word in business: yes. Yes, and. Yes, and here's how to book time with me. Yes, and here's a link to book a consulting session with me. Yes, and here's what working together would look like. So, what do you do when someone wants to pick your brain and you don't want to say no, but you cannot really afford to give your time away, or that doesn't feel good to you? You don't have to say no to brain pickers. You can say yes, and here's how to work with me. It's all about having the right offer ready and feeling confident when you present it. You deserve to feel good about your boundaries. You deserve to be paid for the experience that you have earned over months, years, maybe decades. We can accept and recognize that it's not about saying no. We often worry about saying no, but you can start by saying yes, and here's what it costs. Yes, and here's my VIP day offer. I used to feel really uncomfortable setting that boundary, but now I remind myself it's not about rejection. It's about honoring the people who do pay me, who do value me, and how that makes me feel when I show up. I am a better strategist, a better coach, a better consultant when I am sitting across from someone who values my time and experience and is going to put it into action. So let's start by saying yes and being okay if the no is coming from someone because it's not aligned for any reason. The next thing we need to do, I would encourage you to have something available. If you don't already offer something when someone wants to pick your brain, I think you should. I think you should create an offer. If you don't currently have something to offer, let's fix that. I recommend branding something, pricing it, and deciding what you're going to deliver. This is exactly what I help my clients do in a VIP day experience I call Package Your Process with the Expert. So I help clients one to one to get clear on what you could offer. If you're constantly getting questions about something, what is something you could package, even if it's simple, that would help you turn that person who's curious about getting your advice into a happy paying client? One of the misconceptions that took me many years to see is that when people ask to pick our brains, sometimes they do that because they don't know that we have something available. And in some cases, we don't even have something available. So I think creating something, whether, we do that work together or you do it on your own, creating a paid advice offer, give it a name, a shape, a container, a cost, so that the next time somebody asks you and you feel like it's more than just a quick question, you'll be ready. Start to think about the questions you're getting all the time. So I used to get a lot of questions about how to write a book to grow your business. So I would say I had an offer that was called the Rock Your First Book session. And it was literally the same thing as Become the Go To Expert session, which was all about how to create a workshop that drives visibility. Same amount of time, same price, just had a different name, leaned into the angle. You create something like this when somebody asks you, you're going to have something that you could say yes and to. Now, not every request that you get is going to fit your core offers. And that's where having a back pocket offer comes in. So, different from the branded offer I just recommended, this is an offer you sort of pull out of your back pocket. It's not a thing you market, you're not talking about it a lot. But when people come to you and they ask that same question time and time again, the question you don't actually do in your core business, you've got something you can offer them so that you can feel good about giving advice and they can get the result they want. This is a lightly marketed session that's going to keep you ready for those common asks that fall outside your main work. One of my clients kept getting questions about starting a consulting business. She's run a very successful consulting business. It's very highly visible, but that's not her main work. She does not help consultants create businesses. So, because the question had come up so often, she created a paid session to address it and she branded it, she named it, and now she gets a little bit of side income when she gets those inquiries. Another thing that I've seen clients do, my client Mira, she would get lots of questions around starting a business like hers, and I think for a while she was offering a group Q&A call. That could be a paid offer, that could be something you do for free, but it helps you limit how much advice you're giving for free, making sure that you have something that you've figured out is valuable. The key here is to assign value to your time and to not feel just like because someone's asking you about something that you don't currently charge for or is not your main expertise doesn't mean it's not valuable. The biggest thing I want you to be thinking about as we talk about ways to turn brain pickers into amazing clients is to always remember that your advice is your product. And every time you share it, it's costing you time, focus, and opportunity. So you should set the tone for what's available, what it costs, and what is not on the menu. I really want us to all stop normalizing the idea that we owe our time for coffee or lunch. That is literally free inventory that you're being put in the position of giving away. That's like somebody going into a bookstore and asking for 10 books on the shelf, but only offering $5 for them. It's not okay. The mindset here that has really helped me that maybe you can take away this week. I get to choose how I give my advice. Generosity should be on your own terms, not under pressure. And this to me is not about being unaffordable. It's about honoring what your advice is actually worth, what people are already paying for it, what organizations value from you is not something anyone should make you feel like you just need to give because they don't value it, because they didn't realize you had an offer, right? So we want to show up for people. We want to help people, right? And I know that if we've gotten this far in the episode, you're thinking, but Annie, there are people who need my help and I want to help them. And that is all great. And I think the thing I want to just encourage you is you get to choose. Let's take that power back and to, with open arms, embrace the fact that there are very intentional ways to give. You can choose to mentor folks in your world. You can offer pro bono sessions, maybe a certain number per quarter or per year. You could offer a sliding scale. You can do these free things for somebody who you just love. But the key, I think, is that you choose. And we don't let others dictate that our stuff is only worth lunch. We both know that your experience and what you bring to the table is worth so much more than that. And if someone doesn't take you up on the offer, that's okay. Some people will. Some people will be thrilled and didn't even know you had something. And others will have awkward silence. If someone doesn't respect that boundary, that tells you everything you need to know. We want to fill our world, our network, our universe, not just with people who are going to pay us. It's not about that. Some people will become clients and others, it just won't be a fit or a season or something they can do. But we want to fill our world with people who see us as whole people, who understand that our time is money. Our time and our expertise, our capacity, our focus, our insight, what we bring to the table is worth something. And even if it's not the right aligned time, we want people who see that in us and we want to see that in others. If you have been getting asked a lot of questions about advice, can I pick your brain, and you don't have a clear offer to point people to, I can help. That is the core work that I do. I help you turn your process into a package offer that is going to protect your time and shows your value and sets you up to create a whole offer suite that feels really good for you and the clients you love to say yes to. That experience is called Package Your Process with the Expert. And if you're curious about it, you can learn more on my website or set a free time to talk with me about it. But for today, I just want you to know you can say yes to brain pickers and still protect your time. Brand an offer, set your boundary, own your value. And if you feel nervous about it, you're not alone. I used to feel weird too. Some days I still feel a little awkward. But now I feel so much better when I don't give 90 minutes of my day and walk away feeling drained and unappreciated. Pick one small step name your offer, set your price, and write a template you can use to reply. And if you want support with that, I'll help you build that service. Let's get your boundary-backed offer built. Hey, do you like surprises? Here comes the show's credits, but just like a Marvel movie, stay to the end so you don't miss something fun I put in just for you. Thanks for tuning in to the Establish Yourself podcast. I'm Annie Franceschi, and I want to hear from you. Follow me on LinkedIn. Share your favorite takeaway from today's episode as a comment on my latest post. Mention your favorite Muppet in your message so I know you're a fan of the show. And for expert branding help, a free consultation, and more resources, visit greateststorycreative.com/podcast. Now, here it is, your moment of magic. Speaking of coffees, I don't even like coffee. My perfect snack is a Coke Icy and a soft pretzel. How about you?